Alright, so there was some questions about the car. I just wanted to give a brief overview of what was going on, what we found whenever we took it apart, and the state that it's in now, and where we're going with it. So, here we go. Come on the journey. So I dropped the car off in Dallas in 2018 to get a twin turbo kit put on it, and it was installed. They're in there for what that's worth, but had a Thompson Motorsport 6-liter put in it, and the pilot bearing that was put in there was for an older LS. So it actually was sitting, instead of this groove, it was sitting inside of this groove. And that would allow the propeller shaft to just kind of float all up inside in here. And as it was doing that, it ate the clutch and the bushings. You can see them all. Yep. Wear marks on them where the clutch ran into them. So that's a new McLeod clutch that I need to get, and then I already got the new pilot bearing, and it is going to fit in this race here. But that was the beginning of the drivability issues that I had out of it. This is a on-3 performance kit, but I don't know what it actually fits to as far as the turbos and then the rest of the cold side. It's got one wastegate here, and then I guess it was too low to put it on the other side, so they just capped it. If anybody knows what this actually goes to, that'd be cool. I looked at On3's website, but they don't show to have a twin turbo kit for a C6. None of the wiring harnesses in the back was protected from heat. There's no heat shielding on any of it other than the factory heat shielding, so the starter cables burn up. Already started to fix some of that, but I got the rest of the harness laid out. I'm gonna wrap it with fire shield. So here's what's left of the clutch. The discs look okay until you flip it on its side. You can see the gaps in there where it had been hitting the bushings, the spacers on the flywheel. Pretty rowdy, but hopefully that saved the torque tube and that's not causing my run out issues. I think that is, because then you can see where friction disc was sitting on here also, the mid plate. That one really got it. I think he even got the pressure plate in a couple spots. I did install the TIC performance support bearing on my slave cylinder, and I've got a remote bleeder for it, and And I'm actually going to cut these lines at the metal part and cut out the rubber part of the line, and then fire sleeve it as well to add some insulation. It's already starting to wear. That's about it. It's in trouble. Do a coil relocation. I need to pipe the wastegate the rest of the way. I'm just going to replumb the wastegate blow-off valve fittings with the push to fit. Get some brass fittings for that or metal fittings for it. But other than that, I mean, it's nice. I need to do something about the other wastegate. The plumbing on that's just dumping right down into the engine bay. I don't know if I want to go through the fender wells with them or just go out of the hood with them. Chance some little kid flipping a quarter in there. I guess that wouldn't be too bad. Hopefully it'd pop right out, along with the chewing gum and everything else that falls in. But I did do the battery relocation. I did put it in the trunk with the, just like they run the ZR1 and the Z06. Didn't have much room to bring that power wire through. Not completely finished with it, but there's the power wire from the battery. This one's going back up to the fuse box. Just reused the old wire out of the original harness. Then I have one for the starter and then the other one for the alternator. And of course I separated the harness to put the fire sleeve on it. Just got that from Amazon, so hopefully it's the same, or close to the same standard as the aerospace fire sleeve. But yeah, I just need a hold down kit. It's actually pretty easy. The ground I terminated right here and used a riv nut, although I do hate them. It's good enough. And both of them had the little dish cut out for them right here in the fiberglass portion of the trunk, so it made it really easy to route the wiring. So it's pretty easy. Just remove some of the trim pieces, remove the strut to get this trim piece off, and this one down here and this one. I did have to take the little handle off. These are some Torx bits in there, and that was pretty much it. Just routed the cable down and around, fed it behind this bracket and right out the firewall. I used a rubber grommet to feed it through with, and a little bit of RTV to seal it. But it was pretty simple. So getting the transmission and the rear end out was actually kind of easy. It seemed easier than other transmissions I pulled out in the past. But there's, of course, wheel speed sensor and parking brake on each wheel. The caliper stays on this side. There's plenty of videos going over that stuff, the removal of this, and then the caliper stays with the vehicle on the left hand side. Wheel speed sensor, parking brake cable, and then the brake disconnects from here. But I think there's one here, one there, one there, and one there. Four other sensors. And then dropped it down. Got a little ATV or motorcycle jack from Harbor Freight. It was probably the cheapest option. The only bad thing about this is it only goes up to 17 inches. So if you have the car jacked up higher than that, you're going to have trouble reaching it. But it was surprisingly easy the way that it came out. It's almost engineered that way.
Alright, so there you go. That's pretty much it. Just the rest of the car is in bits and pieces, but it's going back together really nicely. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and see you guys.